1919, okay, in order to avoid legislative crimes, okay, right, legislative crimes in the sense unnecessary arrest of Indian politicians, okay, a proper arrest warrant is necessary for arresting the politicians or Indian heads who form the legislature or whatever it is, okay. So this is the legislative act that especially formed for legislative, okay. This is the first act, that is what, that is on March 18, 1990, okay. And the second one is, I think you all know the Jallianwala, you know, right, Jallianwala massacre, okay. This was a massacre happened on 13th April 1919. 13th April 1919. The Jallianwala Bagh is a place in Punjab, which is about 7 acres of place, where many Indians were gathered in the place and fired. You know that, right? Yes, it is one of the first thing that was done by British, where all the Indians were unhappy about the British government, totally unhappy about the British government, and the British announced that totally 369 were killed and 1,000 were wounded, but other sources say that not 369, 1,000, about 1,000 people would have killed in that firing event. Okay, right? So this is what the first thing, what a strong impact created on Indians to get independence. Okay? So many people were against the British due to this event. Due to this event, Gandhiji started non-cooperation movement and Khilafat movement. All those things has been organized in the country because of this thing what the British government done for us. Okay, right? Okay, this is very important. You should write. So about 379 were dead according to British source, whereas the other sources says that about 1,000 were dead in that event. Okay, so the first unhappy event that was organized in India, what made a great impact on Indians for the independence. Okay, right? And after this, Khilafat movement has been started. Khilafat movement. The Khilafat movement organized in 1992 and 22, it was ended. Okay. Write down, it is a pan-Islamic, political protest campaign. Launched by Muslims. This is started not to destroy the Ottoman Empire. Okay. In 1919, at that time and all, Delhi Sultanates were the popular ruler of India. They almost ruled all over North India at that time. Delhi Sultanates, who were completely Ottoman Empire was there. Okay. The British started to destroy the Ottoman Empire. So this movement was started in order to protect the Ottoman Empire at that time. Okay, right? Yes, that is what. So this is actually indirectly it is in the Muslim unity. Says that in the Muslim unity. Okay, right? And the next one is actually this movement was ended in 2022. That was it happens because of in September 2021, Ali brothers were arrested. Due to that, this movement was ended, and many other movements has been started, which actually the motive of those movements were also Hindu Muslim unity. So this movement ended in 1922. That is why it is from 1919 to 1922. This movement started and ended. Okay, so the main aim of this movement is to protect the Ottoman Empire in India. Okay, right. The next one is a very important important and biggest movement is non-cooperation movement. Non-cooperation movement started by who? Started by who? Started by Gandhiji, Mahatma Gandhiji. So the non-cooperation movement started by Mahatma Gandhiji because very big impact of Jallianwala. Due to the impact of Jallianwala, Gandhiji started this cooperation movement. Manjusha, what are you doing there? Yes. It is the biggest aim of this movement is non-violence. That is what Gandhiji told. Resist the British government with non-violence. Okay, ma? He told not to buy any British goods. Okay. So all the things first, Indian handicraft should be bought and it should be used by the people. Only Indian handicraft should be used by the people, avoiding all the British goods in India. Okay. That is what he shows his hatred in that way. Okay. We don't want to promote Britishness in India. Okay. Buying the positions.
Internship date
So this movement is a large scale movement in 1920. It started in 31st August 1920 and which is considered to be the large scale movement at that time. All over in India, the people were started to resist the British products and all. Okay, so which gave a greater impact to the British people, and the British were totally unhappy with the Indian people. Okay, right? And this is what happened. It started in 31st August 1920. Okay? And next one is civil disobedience movement. You should write down all these things one by one like this. Okay. Next is civil disobedience. I'm getting some noise over there. Disobedience movement. And this is also called as which is the Dandi March. We say Dandi Satyagraha, right? Dandi March and Dandi Satyagraha is known to be the civil disobedience movement. Actually, Dandi is a small coastal village where they started to take salt from the sea water. Coastal village in the sense it has a sea. Coastal side means what? It is like seaside, right? And the seaside they started to take salt from the sea. Okay, that is why it is known to be Dandi Salt March or Uppu Satyagraha. We say, right? Salt Satyagraha started by Gandhiji. Okay, actually the British were against to take salt from the coastal, salt from the sea. Okay, and whereas the Gandhiji organized the march at this time, the march was organized. Many people involved in the march and walked along with Gandhiji for about 340 miles at that time. Okay, right? So the distance what they walked is 240 miles and it is 390 kilometers. So it started on 12th March 1930. About 24 days it happened. 1930 to 6th April 1930. This march has been done. That is why it is known to be Dandi March. Okay. About 24 days they did this, and it is actually a complete non-violence protest. It is a complete non-violence protest against British salt. Okay. A complete non-violence protection against British salt. Right? These are the two non-violence movements started by Gandhiji and organized by Gandhiji. Right? And here 78 people mostly work on that actually. And that is a village in Gujarat. Okay? Coastal village in Gujarat. Roundtable conferences. round table conference in the sense what it means? Why does it? What was the reason to conduct it? Yes, any? Just relate and say, Fiyaskan. I'm watching you from the beginning. You keep on comment at the back. Do you think I don't watch you? No, you can sit. You can sit. I want respect in such a way that when I take you, just close your mouth. That is the respect you can give to me, not like just get up or like this. You can comfortably sit. You should write about these two moments, which is these two moments are where the biggest moment in India, where most of the Indian people followed Gandhiji at that time because it happens in a non-violent way, where everybody can even practice in the day-to-day life. Okay, they can even practice it. So everybody all over in India, they were started to practice it. Up to the people of Gujarat, UP, Bihar, Bengal, those people very much interested in this event and followed all over in full North India against British government has become very high. Okay, so the British government don't want that to continue in India because they know that if there is a movement in such way that people were against the government, what happens? The abolishment of government takes place, right? The British government started know that the abolishment of British government has started in India, so they don't want that to happen in India. So in order to do that, they just conduct the conferences where Indian people and British people sit together and talk about what are all the necessary things and what can British do for India in order to discontinue these movements and all. Okay, right? That is what the three round table conferences does not give satisfaction for the Indians. It has happened in 3 rounds. Okay, no? So it does not give satisfaction for the Indians. Okay? And in here the INC and Jinnah has been participated. Jinnah in the sense Muhammad Ali Jinnah. At that time INC and Muslim League were the 2 biggest political groups in India. Okay? If they convince INC and Muslim League, almost all India will come under the British. Right? So they started to convince people in INC and people in Muslim League, and they also offered many good offerings to the Muslim League so that they want at least any one support. Okay? Whereas both did not agree that. In that case, 3 conferences held and it was just dissatisfied and it has not succeeded in India. Okay? Right? And the first conference held in November 32. January 1931. Second one from September to December 1931. And third round table conference held in November to December. Yeah. And due to upon all these things, demand for say it is Swaraj. Demand for Swaraj or self-rule. Swaraj is known to be self-rule. Increasingly growing in India. Demand for self-rule was increasingly growing in India. All these conferences, they asked only for self-rule. Okay, right? And at last, the British came to conclusion that they can provide self-rule to the Indian government. At the end of these 3 conferences, they found that Indians were very strong in self-rule. They cannot able to convince India against this self-rule and all. Whereas INC and Muslim League both were very strong and they compulsorily wanted self-rule in India. Okay, that happens at the movement of Quit India movement. That is what the next movement organized by Britishers actually. Okay, so next is Quit India movement. Launched by Gandhi. Quit India movement. We'll complete this only one topic. Only one. the entire, inspired the entire nation, right? And like it has a slogan all over in India. They started to say do or die, right? So after this movement, the Congress was banned in India, and many leaders were arrested. These are all the effects happened. Congress was completely, they tried to ban the Congress and they arrested most of the people in INC, Indian National Congress, after this movement. And I also see the people started to damage the Britishers, take the railway station, police station, whatever they were built in India. Whatever the property belongs to Britishers, the people started to damage all the properties of British government. Okay, so one of the most important property that they developed in India is railway stations, railway lines. Okay, they laid many railway lines. Most of the railway lines and railway stations, police stations, and their buildings, everything have been attacked. Okay, Indians attacked them, and that is why. And after this, people started their own independent government also in some places, like in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Bengal. At those places, people started their own government, that is self-government, without getting any British permission or whatever it is. Because in all over the India, Indians were completely against of the British. Okay, the support of Indians has been very, very high, and most of the people against the British. British know that nothing can be done hereafter, because all the British properties most of the properties were being completely got damaged. Okay, so what they did is they just wrote everything to the United Kingdom, the President of United Kingdom, that this is what happening in India, and with the permission of United Kingdom President, they actually conducted a meeting again in India, and the President also says he just calls all the state affairs, state eldest position, those who are occupying in India. Okay, come back to the British. Yes, they all went back to the United Kingdom. Actually, they had a very big discussion over this because of this Quit India movement, right? And after that, the British government said that okay, you can start your own self-rule, Swaraj in India. Okay, that is what happened in 1947. That is what Indian independence movement, 1947, right? Indian independence movement happened in 1947, and after British gave statement that you can have a self-rule, and actually in India there were two groups, Muslim group and Muslim League group and INC, right? And at that time, Muslim League want their own country, their own state. They want all the Muslims together and have their own state. Okay? Whereas Indian National Congress also agreed that. That is why the Pakistan has been separated, and the Pakistan announced independence one day before 14th August 1947. They announced independence. Whereas the next day, at the night of 14th August, we announced our own independence. Okay? After independence also, the East India Company took some time to leave India, actually. Okay? And they were completely not in power after that. Okay? So we elected our own president, we elected our own prime minister, all belongs to INC, like Jawaharlal Nehru, Dr. Rajendra Prasad was the president. So all at that time was belongs to INC, because INC had that much great impact on Indian independence. Okay, because of INC and Muslim League only, we actually Gandhiji also started to take Quit India movement. We had a companion with INC at that time. Okay, right? So that is why the non-cooperation movement and Quit India movement had a great impact. One more movement, what is that? What's the non-cooperation movement? Indoor movement. Jallianwala Bagh is a thing that happened because of that Khilafat movement has been started, non-cooperation movement has been started. First Jallianwala Bagh event எழுதினோம். அதுல இருந்து தான் நமக்கு என்ன ஸ்டார்ட் ஆச்சு? Non-cooperation movement and Dandi Satyagraha movement and Quit India movement. Okay, that is why all these three movements in a non-violence thing lead to the independence of India. All these movements were started by Gandhiji. That is why we say Gandhiji as a father of our nation. Okay, right? So this is what Indian and I left cabinet mission. Cabinet mission, that is what I told. In 1946, cabinet mission has been organized by Britishers. Cabinet mission that is the mission where all the British people together and spoke about independence. That is, they organized a mission and spoke to UK. That I told you that event was done and organized and happened in cabinet mission. Okay, and then Indian Independent Act 1947. Okay, right? That is how you should complete it. Okay, right?